in terms of streaming services versus artists, there seems to be a lot of talk across a lot of different genres about the fact that the house always wins. Spotify, Apple Music take home the lion's share of this money that artists are making. Just curious what your thoughts are on that situation, and if you think potentially this will ever improve in the favor of the artists.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have so many friends that are artists, and many of them are impacted by this. I hope that it gets more fair in terms of the payment models for the artists. However, I don't think it's a really tough thing to think that it's going to change, because I think the only thing that would really facilitate change is if the artists pull their music off of the services. If there was like a strike, if there was like, if suddenly these streaming services didn't have content to put out, people aren't going to subscribe to it. So yeah. I don't really see it changing radically unless there is enough of a leveraging position to do it. And one of the problems with that is a lot of artists, I'm sure a lot of fans know, don't own their own music. Right. So they're not the ones making the deal with the company. So that's why the record companies are now starting to make a lot of money again, but it's not trickling to the artist. So new bands and new artists that have a lot of traction, maybe some of the big pop artists of today, people who own their catalogs and do have that control, they would have to be in a position to really create some sort of movement to say, hey, this is going to stop unless we cut a more fair deal.
Right. So it's sort of like
not an end of the business I'm involved in, because I don't write or record songs, but I do see it as being a problem. But right now, Cassius, if you think about it, the whole mentality of the music business has changed, where making money off of selling music in any way or having it heard is gone. Like there's still some there, but it's not what artists survive on.
Right.
Some of the artists that I see and the labels are guilty of this as well, because what they're doing is they're giving their music away in advance of it even coming out. How many albums do you see coming out where there's 3-4 lyric videos or something on YouTube, free to all? Yeah. Because the idea is the whole idea of trying to sell music has been virtually abandoned. Right. The idea is to just get people to hear it, because there's such a glut of it. Just hear it. And then if you like it, buy the ticket to the show. That's why the whole model is shifted to the live show. It used to be that the live show was done to sell the record because that's where they made the money. That's a complete 180 now. Now the music is an ad to come to the show, which is why ticket prices are through the roof and why you have a ton of shows on the road in normal times.
And then also, I mean, it almost seems like they're more dependent on collecting whatever ad money they'll make on YouTube than even trying to make that money in record sales. Because I'm sure that, I mean, if record sales are really suffering that bad, they must be making something comparable through YouTube potentially. I don't know if you know anything about that.
Well, there's some money to be made there, but it all comes down to the volume of how many people are listening to something. But the record companies are trying to do this thing now called 360 deals, where they actually get a piece of the artist touring and merch. And that's why some artists don't want to sign record deals and don't even want to take a record deal now, because they don't want to give up a piece of everything. Right. So there's, the business is always evolving and changing itself. But to me, I think where music has gone through streaming and through these services that people get music is, it's just now about, please just listen to it. Know it's out, acknowledge it. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you come to a show. I remember 3-4 years ago, I had John Bon Jovi on my show, and I went to a release party. It was not for his most recent record, the previous one. And the album was a couple weeks from coming out, but they did a performance on Broadway in New York where they played the entire album live.
Wow.
And then like a week or two before the record came out, when we did this interview, they had already released like 5 songs from it on YouTube. Ooh. And I said to John, I said, aren't you worried that people have no desire to buy the record, considering they can hear it free on YouTube, and that maybe even when you play this concert, someone might record it and post it?
Right.
It's like, whatever, man. He goes, that's not, he goes, just hear it. I'm just trying to make sure people hear it, and then we'll go out and tour. Now, if you're Bon Jovi, who's got all the money in the world and all the resources in the world, it's easy to do that
Yeah.
because you don't care if you're not making money from sales because you're getting paid millions from your back catalog.
Yeah.
But if you're a young up-and-coming artist, that's a tough spot because you can't pull a lot of people on the road and you're not getting money from the music.
You really do have to be at a certain level almost to even make it sustainable, it seems.
Yeah, but people are resourceful and people figure it out and people do it. And you have these other ways that people are able to monetize what they're doing. And I mean, you know, so there's always a reinvention. I mean, there's been a huge reinvention in media. There's been a huge reinvention in the music industry.